Good morning, all you freedom-loving patriots out there. Craig Gibson here with Sons of Liberty, and this is Constitution Coffee and Service. This week, we will be brewing up all week long Sergeant O'Lantern. Sergeant O'Lantern is our fall limited release. It's a pumpkin pie flavored coffee. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice, but this one's actually surprisingly good. I was a little leery of it because it said pumpkin, but it's got a much better flavor than I thought it was going to. And like I said, this is a limited release. We got a limited quantity of it for fall. We will soon have our Christmas winter release coming out. I think you guys will enjoy that one. Sounds very familiar to another coffee I've tried of the same tasting notes, so should be pretty good. That one, both Dylan and Nanette said tasted like Christmas in your mouth. So it'll be interesting to try this next one too. Like I said, we'll be brewing it up all week. Come in and give it a try. We also have several other flavors to choose from, as well as plain coffees, both through Overwatch Coffee Shop and Black Rifle Coffee. All right, so 23rd Amendment. Now, we're going to cover two amendments today, very, very short, very to the point. 23rd Amendment of the United States Constitution extends the right to vote in presidential elections to citizens residing in the District of Columbia. Do you imagine living in the continental United States and not being able to vote? That would be kind of horrible, right? Or, I don't know. Maybe not. The 24th Amendment of the United States Constitution prohibits both Congress and the states from conditioning the right to vote in federal elections on payment of a poll tax or other type of tax. Now, we've heard over the years when typically the right, Republicans, have stated that, all elections, in order to vote, you must be able to present ID. Of course, Democrats have screamed and yelled that, well, that's a poll tax. No, by law, you're supposed to have an ID. Law enforcement needs to be able to verify who you are. Therefore, you're supposed to have a valid ID. And no excuse not to have one at the polls. But anyway, so those are our two amendments for the day. Like I said, pretty quick, straightforward, nothing to it. Now, let's get on to the election a little bit. All right, so the other day we put out a video talking about, according to the Associated Press, Biden was the president-elect. And I got a little bit of pushback on that. That's okay. Tempers are high right now. So, let's make this simple. All right. And you know what? I may lose people following us on Facebook. I may lose the few followers we have on YouTube. But that's okay. That's okay. Look, if you are an American, whichever president ends up being inaugurated on January 20th, he is your president. I don't care. I don't care. If you're an American, he is your president. We have gotten so divided and so hate-filled in our country that we're gonna start yelling about he's not my president. We have such a lack of respect in this country for anything or anyone that we can't even respect the office of the president because our party's not in there. We have spent way too much time as Americans, focusing on mortal men and what they can or cannot do for us. I don't care if it's Biden, I don't care if it's Trump. They are mortal, they are human. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what they do on this earth, because in the end, what they do, it has no effect on us. It's what we do. We have allowed hatred and sin to take over our country to the point that we're fighting and arguing about what? About an election? About whether it was stolen or not? Big surprise, guys, it's politics. It's what happens. Now, we have the opportunity to change that. The problem is we got too many states that are sitting on the sidelines not willing to lift a finger to work together as Americans to say enough. Enough of the special interest groups. Enough of the corporations buying our presidents or our senators or our congressmen. We must band together as Americans. We must present a strong front, a united front, and tell the government, look, you do work for us, and we're done. We're done allowing special interests to sway your votes. We're done allowing special interests to place candidates in positions of power. That is up to us. Ultimately, God is in control of the situation. He has a reason for everything that takes place. And if there's a reason that Joe Biden should be in the Oval Office, then he's going to be there, regardless of what we say, regardless of what we do. Daniel 2:20 through 21. And this is in the Old Testament. Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he, not us, he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings. He setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding." We don't do all that, guys. It's a fact. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and maybe even some that follow us and watch our videos and that say, oh, it's just fairy tales. Well, that's your opinion. But given everything going on in the world, that has, by the way, been foretold, yeah, I'm going to go with no, this is fact. This is fact. Guys, stop acting like 2-year-olds who lost your favorite teddy bear, and you don't like the replacement. All right? Stop with the "he's not my president." We've already had one person come into the store that's already started with that crap because, well, you know, Trump's fighting it. Trump's going to the courts. Trump's got all this legal stuff. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, unless it reverses it, Joe Biden is the president-elect. I don't like it any more than a lot of people, but you know what? It's politics. It's what we do. We've survived. You know, many have survived the Carter years, the Clinton years, the Obama years. Do you really think that we can't survive the Biden years? I gotta move my camera for a minute. You know, a lot of people are gonna be making a lot of wild accusations. It happens every time, every election. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things that Biden had said he wanted to accomplish on his campaign site. because, and I understand he says this is what he wants to do, but let's use some common sense for a moment. Looks like they might have taken it down. Okay, so we know that Biden wants to put a ban on his so-called assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. He's not the first president to do that. And you know what? If he gets it through, he gets it through. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going, traitor, why would you say that? Look, everything is temporary. And it's not as simple as him just walking forward and saying, I ban you. Okay, there's a lot more involved in it than just that. As far as taking guns away, do you understand what it actually takes to change an amendment? We can't even get people on board to hold a convention of the states to add amendments. What makes you think we're going to just magically get one in order to change or repeal an amendment like the Second Amendment? It's not that simple. Now, I'm not saying they won't find ways around it. They're good at doing that. They're good at just barely skirting the law in order to achieve their goals. And that's all politicians, okay? And here's the thing. Right now, there's enough Americans that want a constitutional convention of the states in order to add amendments. Amendments that would put limitations on term limits on the House and the Senate. There are people that want to put an amendment in the Constitution that reminds the government that it's the people that run this country, not them. That it's the people that elect them, not businesses and corporations. That it's them that work for us, not the other way around. So with those two things being pushed, there is no way he is going to risk a convention of the states. Because while he may get his repeal through, he's going to lose a lot more. Here's the other thing. You know, I've heard people, well, get ready to wear a mask. He's going to make you wear a mask. Guess what? Legally, he cannot. He cannot force the nation to mask up. Now, what he can do is he can go to the governors and he can go to the mayors if the governors don't listen and do his bidding. He can go to them and say, hey, I think it'd be a good idea if you get your people to start wearing masks. You know, we'll give you an incentive to do so. Well, good luck to that one. Because there are, you know, obviously there are governors and mayors that will definitely say, okay, Mr. President, we'll do it. But, yeah. So, you know, stop buying into the rhetoric. Stop buying into the conspiracy theories. There are things he's going to try to do. There are things that he's out of his mind if he tries to do because, quite frankly, it's borders on illegal, borders on unconstitutional, and he will have a fight on his hands. And he knows this. After, 47 years in politics, if he doesn't, he's dumber than we thought. You know, just saying. So, guys, don't buy into all this. Don't buy into the hate. Let's get our country united again. Because the division, that's what's going to take us down. But when we stand united, when we go together as one voice, they can't stop us. So, all right, guys. As always with the service portion, it's going out to our men and women in uniform. Regardless of the uniform they're wearing, because they're the ones that are out there at the ballot recounts and out there trying to keep the streets safe and just trying to do their jobs, getting deployed overseas, wherever they may be. So be sure to thank them for what they do, because they definitely don't hear that enough. All right, guys, as always, faith, not fear, and be the kind of American worth the sacrifice our men and women in uniform make every day. All right, guys, we will talk to you later.